Good evening. Welcome to Deborah's cooking show where I am making homemade Louisiana style gumbo with everything in it but the kitchen sink. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm starting to pre-cook my Scott Peterson hot beef Polish sausages covered with water. I will let them come to a boil and then I will turn them off back to the meats that I'm going to be using. Here is a bag of nice shrimp. They've already been peeled and deveined. They have the tail on, so I will be taking the tail off of these. This is a 1 pound bag, and I have 3 bags. Okay, these are some wild caught bay scallops. They've been shucked. They're all ready to eat. I'm just letting them unthaw in the bag. As you can see, I'm doing with all the other frozen seafood here. Now, usually, whenever I've made gumbo before, I always use the snow crabs. They were out of snow crabs. I bought these rock crab claws. It is a 2 pound bag, and these are nice and big. So they'll be easier to get the meat out of, which will be fine. And they will give me the seafood flavor that I'm looking for. Okay, so this is all the meat that I use. Okay, the Scott Peterson. Oh, and I forgot the chicken wings. The Scott Peterson hot Polish sausage, the shrimp, scallops, and you can use however many pounds of scallops you like, and the crab leg. Let me get the bag of chicken wings out and let you see that. Okay, here's the bag of open chicken wings. And as you can see, they're good and frozen. And they've already been cut apart. What I need to do is let them sit out anyway. Probably put them in a bowl of water so they can easily thaw out, because they'll be going into the gumbo, which will cook for an hour. Now, as far as vegetables go, you will also need a bag of cut okra. I like Flavor Pack because they do have the non-GMO verified label on the bag. And all you need is 1 bag. That'll give you 12 ounces. So 1 12-ounce bag will be good. If you want more, you can add more. Remember, this is a big pot of soup with everything in it but the kitchen sink. You can add as much as you like. Now, as far as celery, you will need 1 cup of chopped celery, 1 large onion chopped. So I'm going to chop 1 cup of celery, and I don't even measure. I just put however much celery I like. I'm going to chop up 1 huge onion, and then you need green onion, and the green onions are scallions. Just wanted to bring you back and let you see that our water is boiling with our Polishes in it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer the ones on top to the bottom and let them boil for a couple minutes longer, and they will be done. And I'll set them aside so they can cool and I can cut them up. Okay, I went and got my onion. I'm going to add a medium yellow onion, and with that, I'm going to cut up this nice size green. So your veggies are your onions, your scallions or your green onions, your celery, and your bell pepper. Then you need a can of tomatoes, preferably stewed tomatoes. However, I didn't have any. So I'm going to use crushed tomatoes. They'll work just fine. This is everything that goes into your pot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up my vegetables. I'm going to stick my okra back in the freezer until I need it. And I'm going to cut up all my vegetables and get them going so that I can start the roux. When I get ready to start the roux, I'll bring you back. This is the broth that I'm going to be using. Now, in preparation before you cut your vegetables, you will need to wash them carefully. Okay, I have getting ready to start the roux. I've added 1 cup of oil to the pot. Got it hot. And I added 1 cup of flour to the pot. Now I'm stirring in the flour with the oil so that I can get this roux going. Make sure all the flour is combined with the oil. And you need to cook the roux for at least an hour, 45 minutes to an hour on very low heat so that it does not burn. And I'm using all-purpose flour, but it's a non-GMO flour. So I'm gonna add a little bit more than a cup to thicken it up. This is a very light flour. You can use any oil of your choice. Right here I have used grapeseed oil. Now, I can turn this down and let it start to brown. I'm going to continue stirring this till it starts to thicken. I'll bring you back to show you what it looks like. Okay, I just wanted to bring you back and tell you how important it is for the roux. The roux is very important because the roux is what makes the gumbo. If you burn the roux, the gumbo is ruined. So that's why you have to cook it at a very low heat, and it will take time to brown. The darker the roux, the better your gumbo is going to be. All right, it's been about 20 minutes. Just wanted to bring you in and let you see how the roux is darkening. And actually, this isn't the real color of the roux that's in the pot. The color that's in the pot is actually even darker than what you see it. So I'll let another 20 minutes go by and I'll bring you back and let you see what we have. 20 minutes more, and as you can see, the roux is browning very nicely from the last time we were in the pot. And I have about 20 more minutes, and I'll bring you back to let you see the finished color. I'm going to take just a minute to show you how to easily peel garlic cloves. You put as many garlic cloves as you would like. At least 4. I have 6. So you just smash them. Turn them over, upside down. Put your weight on it, smash them. The skin will fall right out. All right, here sits my bowl of cut veggies. And I'm getting ready, to chop my garlic cloves. Here are my cut up scallions. As you see, I've sliced and diced, and they will go in the pot once the roux is done. Okay, while I have 6 more minutes on the roux, just wanted to show you the seasonings that you will need. Here you have your gumbo filet powder, your sea salt, black pepper, cayenne pepper, and ground thyme. These are the seasonings that we'll be using in the gumbo. This is what your garlic will look like. Once you get it chopped up, you can chop it up nice and fine. Like I said, you can use however much garlic you like. Okay, it's been 45 minutes. This is almost like a chocolate brown now. I want to get it to where it's almost a dark chocolate. So I'll bring you back in a few minutes. Okay, as you can see now, the roux has darkened up just a little tad more, and this is as dark as I want it to get. So now, while the roux is hot, you add in your vegetables, starting with the scallions first. I've turned up the heat on the roux a little bit so that the green onions can start to saute. And as you can see, since the oil is nice and hot, when they go in, they will start to sizzle. And trust me, you do not want to leave out your green onions, because the green onion gives the gumbo a real extra good flavor. Oops, my camera lens is fogging up from the steam. Now look at that. I'm going to turn this down a bit. Yep, I had it up too high. But you see, it doesn't take long for those green onions to saute. You just stir them as they saute, and that roux is nice and hot. Now, while they are sauteing, and stir as they saute, because you don't want anything to stick and burn, I'm going to add cut up veggies. Stir so that all the rest of the vegetables can saute in the pot also. This will cool it down somewhat, and you'll want to stir this until all your vegetables are softened. Now, along with this, I do have to add the chopped garlic cloves. Okay, here are the garlic cloves. I just didn't want you to miss them. I'm adding them in. Okay, I'm gonna continue stirring and sauteing. Cut up parsley, get sauteed in with the veggies. All right, the hot polishes are cut up, and just to show you, I cut them up on a slant about 1/4 inch wide. Okay, I wanted you to see how nicely the vegetables are sauteing and cooking down, and this is how you want it to look. You've got a paste of roux and chopped veggies. In the meantime, you're gonna take your bag of okra and you're gonna heat up a stick of butter. Now, I could have used butter. Today I'm using bacon fat because that's what's in my skillet. And who doesn't like the taste of bacon? Okay, this is about ready. I'm gonna take my can of tomatoes and I'm going to add it into the roux. And I'm going to stir it and mix it in with the vegetables. I'm going to start adding my seasonings. Okay, as you can see, my okra is sizzling in the bacon fat. I've added my seasonings, which were a scant tablespoon of filet gumbo powder, 1 tablespoon of thyme, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and a couple shakes of pepper. And you just stir that all in and let that simmer. The okra is turned off. Now it's time to add the clam juice. And you can taste the gumbo as it goes along. If you feel like it needs more flavor, you can add a little more filet gumbo powder, a little more salt, a thyme. It's all to your taste. Now, as you see, you have a pot, roux like a gravy. And it's time to start adding all the other ingredients like the meat, the chicken wings, the okra, the hot sausage, and the crab claws or the crab legs, whichever you have. It's time for it to all go in the pot now because it's going to simmer for an hour. You see I have the shrimps left and the scallops. After the hour's done, then you put all your soft seafood in and let it cook for 10 to 15 minutes until it's done. Everything is in the pot. Okay, put a top on it. Okay. You can always put ham, which I normally do. I chop up ham, but I didn't go to that length today. So I didn't add any ham. It's a preference. You can also add smoked sausage or smoked kielbasa. Let's see. There's also a larger sausage. It's a little spicy. I can't think of the name of it right now. But any kind of meat, while the gumbo is cooking, you can start your rice. You can make your rice because once the gumbo gets done, you're going to want to eat it. All right. I hope that I have not left anything out. However, if I do think of something, you know I'll add it. I forgot to tell you, bring it to a boil before you put the top on it. And then you turn it down to a simmer and let it simmer for an hour. Okay, the hour is finally up. And this is what our pot is looking like. I'm stirring it to get everything mixed up because I want to skim off some of that fat. Okay, so as you can see, since I've stirred the pot, the oil is sitting right up here at the top. And all I'm going to do is let my spoon rest on the top, let the oil fall into my spoon. I have a cup right here on the side of the stove, and I'm going to skim this oil right down in this cup because it's no longer needed. Okay, the majority of the oil is off the top. I have added the shrimp and scallop, and now they have to cook. So as soon as the seafood is done, this pot can be turned off. Okay, the gumbo is ready. I have turned the pot off. Seafood is done. You can see the shrimps have curled up, cooled down for an hour. All right.